Hey everybody, and welcome to another RCT2 review. We've finished our head-to-head review series, so now we can get back to all of the parks that I haven't gotten to yet. And there's been a lot of really good releases over the past year and more. There's always a lot to catch up on with these, but this is one of my favorite releases from the previous year. This is Washington State Fair by Roygbiv, and this is a more or less recreation of the Washington State Fair in Puyallup, Washington. I think I said that right. But anyway, it's really nice to see another fair park. I think Cook County Fair by Hydro and Barnard and Raunchy Russell was kind of our benchmark for fair parks, and you can watch that video. I did a review on that one if you'd like to see as well. But this really is a different kind of size fair. It's still an American fair, but it's definitely kind of a larger, more established fair and has kind of a lot of fixed buildings and stuff like that. And there's a lot to see with this one. I really like fair parks just in RCT. I feel like there's a lot of life to them, and it's just you can do a lot of detail and just kind of fun stuff. And they're very regional specific, and American fairs are very different from European fairs, very different from fairs elsewhere. So it's always sort of fun to me to see how those manifest themselves in RCT. So as we zoom in here on one of the entrances, we've got a great streetscape here with some fixed cars and everything. I think these are the Wacky World Time Twister ones, which aren't necessarily my favorite, but the thing is they scale right, and it feels like it fits all right. But we come into our entrance here with some pretty nice detailing on the roof, a lot of kind of aging and what we call crunch going on here, especially with the pathways as you get in. But right away we get into these really excellent little booths and everything. So we have these like this little food stand here with the LPG tanks here on the side, and we've got some different little ones here. And I love the guests that have to go to the bathroom here that just kind of look like they're excited. So that's a good use of that the guest needing the bathroom peep object. But we can keep on going through here and look at all the really great stuff. I love the sign circles and everything. Car dealership, absolutely a must at an American fair. Got Smokey's barbecue pit right here as well. I love the detail too of all of the like ketchup and mustard bottles, all the just the stuff sitting on the counter. Really nice. And then what's kind of cool about all this is you can see the regular pathway and the planters and everything, and then all of these things just kind of like shoved in there in between. So it definitely feels like it's a fairground that had stuff backed in there for this event specifically. So it always fits really well. Right there, beer garden. So we have a little building here called Pavilion Place, advertising some elephant ears there, which is a must at a fair. A little two-level place here, nice cutaway as well. We don't have to figure out what is cutaway and what's not because we have these nice little openings here. Love the roof structure inside. That's very nice. And just the cool exhibits. It's definitely an American fair thing to have these like craft type displays or agricultural displays and things like that. It's definitely a thing. Come here to the corner where we have a nice other entrance here. We'll go look at the rest of the outside here in a little bit, but while I'm here, love this burger sign made out of the objects and everything. It's amazing how readable that is as a burger for just a couple of interesting little objects, and it's kind of fun to have this different cutaway here so we can see the inside and seating areas and the machine and everything like that. It's a good little detail for sure. Great power lines too, by the way, and I love the cables here with the plastic or PVC over top. That's a very good treatment of that in kind of rural America kind of thing. Nice little stage here. Carousel. We've got our first of many hacked rides that we're gonna see. Here's another one of those craft pavilions here. So I got some escalators and stuff inside, and then this opens up onto this fairly sizable, actually very sizable, probably the biggest thing on the map. We've got this bike show going on, and there's a band up here doing stuff. So there's a lot to see, and it's kind of neat because you can rotate in different directions and see different stuff each time. But very cool to go around and see that. little bit of a dead end here, so we got to backtrack around the back of house space here to get to the next section of Midway here. That's got all of our different food stalls here. We've got the bratwursts, got all the little seating areas with the different kind of umbrellas. I love just sneaking in the pizza stall right here, just totally unthemed with any custom scenery, but it fits. You know, it works really well. Here is another one of our big pavilion spaces. There's actually a couple of different facades on this that all connect together, these kind of big warehouse spaces. Totally American Fair thing. I love these food stalls on the outside with the big canopies that can just fold down and close up and all that. So this is the Mattress Showplex, Mattress Firm, I'm guessing. Yep, Mattress Firm Showplex, which is totally a thing. It's a very weird American Fair thing to me that all of these places have like hot tubs for sale, or you know, king size mattresses, or just random things like that. I always kind of wonder who's buying those at these fairs, because usually, I don't know, the fairs aren't necessarily catering to a super wealthy audience, and those hot tubs are not cheap. But nonetheless, it's interesting to see, you know, all the little booths and everything. Also love the diagonal sky ride going across here that we're going to look at in a little bit. Here's another one of these just random kind of things that just fits for this area: brick pavers, patios, turf, just these kind of like landscaping things. Here's a shower vendor right there. Here's our mattresses and everything. So just lots of very obviously American Fair things, which I appreciate. It's always just kind of fun to see. Keep on going back. Here's more hot tubs and spas. Get to some more of the rides. Now we start to roll into the ride section here. We've got this great chair swing with Space Case vehicles here. Love the chaos plonked on top here for some scenery, some track texture going on there. Here's our giant fair food pavilion. Love the little sign there. Also the back of house kitchens, this fryer and everything going on here. The long kind of beer garden style tables inside. And then all the different food stands on the outside as well that kind of wrap around the whole thing. Another couple of pavilions here, another fair entrance on this side. We've got ourselves a little rotating ride here that doesn't have a name on it, but this time it's pretty darn cool. The marquee. We'll see more of that later too. One of the agricultural ones. The object is funny just because it doesn't quite fit the overall style of the map, but it's just kind of funny to have cartoon cow just kind of plonked in there. Here's one of the turnarounds for stations, I guess, for our diagonal chairlift, which actually pretty clever how this is done, just with a couple of wild mouse corners and some station platform bits and everything. But it's the best way to kind of fake a diagonal chairlift in as best as possible. Got our nice Matterhorn ride here with really cool signage, the Olympic rings there on the diagonal. This was cool too, the rotating chairlift pieces, the old Amazing Earl chairlift, I think. Oh, yeah, and it's neat because it gives a cool kind of bit of movement in the inside, kind of almost like a little bit of a shimmery type movement going on, which I appreciate. I think that's very nice. Get to our first coaster here. So this is Classic Coaster, which is a permanent wooden coaster that lives at the fair all year round and just operates for the fair. But it's a very classic out and back wooden coaster. I think it's from the 20s or 30s. I'm kicking myself for not looking that up ahead of time. But it's got you know, some cool supporting work here. I love the added custom supports here in the middle for this center pole with the tensioning sections there. This bit of track actually does exist on the real one too. I actually had to look that up. That is one thing that I did research on, but I'm not entirely sure what that's meant to be. It almost kind of looked like a skid for a sign or a AC unit or something. I'm not entirely sure what, but it is there. So I watched this park and I was like, that's kind of strange, and I actually went and looked it up and chose to focus on some decent realism. You know, this is an inspired by take on the Washington State Fair, but there's a lot of very interesting details to it. Nice little quarter queues here. There's always that balance of quarter queue versus full tile queue, because full tile queue is too much. Quarter tile is probably just right, but the peeps can't do it. So you kind of have to either deal with them just cutting through it or what. I like the visual of the quarter queue. I think it looks good. Here's a Starship 3000, which is a nice little Wisdom Gravitron. Always love seeing those. Good rides. Funnel cake stall, a must. And a nice little greenery area here with a couple of animal habitat type things to go pet, I guess. Here's the Haunted Mansion, which are always super disappointing at US fairs because they're just tiny, small, and don't really have a whole lot going on inside of them. Nice little pastel-looking Ferris wheel here. Bumper cars with a really nice facade on that. I love this arch and these kind of towers on the sides here, and kind of wrap back around to our S&S tower here, Extreme Scream, with the State Fair logo on top. Nice to fit that into one tile. I think that looks really good actually with the signage going on there. Alright, and then we have our Monster Mouse here, Herschel Monster Mouse. So this is a defunct ride. It is no longer at the fair, but I love the fact that it's added here, that Roy went ahead and put it in. These things are terrifying in real life. I never did do one of the Monster Mouse ones, but I did the next step down, and there's no restraints on these, and they're just kind of very old school janky, but cool rides, and I wish more were around, but very neat to see. More game stalls all the way down here and some warehouse stuff going on. I love the cutaway here so you can see all the different storage areas and everything else. All this kind of back of house infrastructure type stuff for the fair. We're going to keep on going down here. We reach Wildcat. Love that the moon there for the sea. That's very cool. So this is Schwarzkopf Wildcat. Good take on this one too. Always tough to get these looking right and getting the supports good and everything. So using some of the RMC track here with some visible bits on there. Actually, no, not invisible bits, just layered track, which I think actually looks pretty nice on that. It's always sort of a balance of trying to figure out what the right method is for that. But looks very nice. I think that one worked out quite well. This is a cool custom ride here. This is zero gravity, so this is an open top, one of the Gravitron type rides that tilts up. I think round up is a better term for it, but love that we have the carousel here rotating on the floor to mimic this thing rotating. So this whole thing would rotate and then tilt upwards and then tilt back down and go on. But that's a really cool version of the custom ride. I don't think I've ever seen that. Love all this mismatch of umbrellas in here. That looks pretty cool. Little train station here as well, and the train station just goes around the kids area here. So this is the Sillyville train, so I guess this is Sillyville. I've never been to the Washington State Fair, I should eventually clarify. So we've got this giant slide, which I love these on real fairs, and this is actually a really nice way to do it with the low slope corrugated metal pieces. That looks really nice. Funnel here for the train. Got our Enterprise here, which is a fairly large size ride for kids area potentially, but regardless, we've got that. We've got our Tornado here, which I think is a Wisdom ride. Cool funhouse, little two-sided or L-shaped funhouse. You don't usually see those super often, but lots of really cool path details and everything. And again, nice setting here where we have this area that would typically just be kind of a grass field that these rides got plonked down into and fit really nicely in. Another entrance on this side, and we have this kind of edge of the fair condition here where we can kind of see this continuing off the edge of the map. So we have all of these different areas here. Like this is the Agriplex, and this is where all of the typical agricultural stuff would go. So this one would probably have, like, you know, cows or chickens or 4-H farm show type things. And here's a nice little section with all these different barn looks on there. Very nice. I do love these big marquees on top of these food stands. These are really huge here, where you have these just giant flags and giant little stacks of signs and everything through the whole thing. Very flashy, very just trying to get your attention as you're going through. Little camel rides thing. It's always questionable animal interaction type things at these fairs. Here is Curse Splash, which is an old ride that has moved on from the Washington State Fair, but this is an E&F Miler water coaster, which is pretty interesting. The not Mobius, but because it only has the one station, but it does kind of do 2 loops here and has these splashdown sections and then the 2 lift hills. Super unique, which you just haven't really seen these anywhere else. I think this is a one-of-a-kind ride, so kind of neat to see this one still here. Like the hint to at the trailer-mounted portable design going on here. Here's another ride here called Atomic Collider. I'm not entirely sure what this one is. It kind of looks like a Zero Hexenstens, but I'm not sure what this one is. Again, I didn't do my research on that one. Got a nice zipper going on here from Chance. Love those, and the fact that Chance is building new ones is kind of cool. It's got a 2.0 version of that. Not quite the same, but still interesting. Great little shops and stalls and everything. Burger Palace, love that. Love all these different little details. Here's our Orient Express kids coaster here. A Tiger Express, actually, but got the similar facade there that you usually see from those Wisdom rides. Another one of our large coasters here. So this is Rainier Rush, which is also no longer around. This is a Top Fun Typhoon. And having ridden one of these in South France, I can say pretty confidently that it's probably a good thing that these things are gone, because it was probably the worst coaster I've ridden, or one of them. It's got this like inclined loop here, which is kind of hard / impossible to do in RCT. So going with the big corkscrew here, which I think makes sense, seems like the better option for us. Making use of those new pieces, big corkscrew. But looks really nice, and also got the whole portable space frame going on here, which works very well as well, just to help fill in those details. Our Pete's Wood Pit Barbecue on the side. You can spin around and see it from this side. I love the big outdoor barbecue, especially with the dinosaur bones here as the big rib bones on that whole thing. Very cool to see. Here's another one of those agricultural areas that we saw cut off on the side of the map. So this is a full one that we get to look at, and we can see all the different animals and everything in here. Some ribbons and different things. Love the different colored like boot sign going on here. Got some more rides on this side. We've got our swinging ship here with the dragon theme going on, Sky Dragon. We've got a couple of these slingshot type ride here. Another one of our towers for the Sky Ride. I do love the way that this slingshot is set up with the various stabilizing legs stuck out on either side. Here's the other end of our Sky Ride too, and then some more of these just large buildings. I love these on the diagonal. Really help to break the grid a little bit on this whole thing. But that takes us full circle. Let's see if we missed anything in the park itself. We've got a lot of really good hack rides in here, a lot of really good shops and stalls. Always tough to get those looking good and to not just totally copy and paste them everywhere, because that's a very easy thing to do, is just going to take one and say, all right, we're just going to plonk it all down. But there's always little details and little difference and that kind of stuff going on. So a little stage here that we didn't get to see earlier, some admin looking buildings here. We've got our extreme fries and the chocolate corn roasted. Gotta get a roasted corn at the fair. Village food and dessert here. I love this little rooftop terrace. That's kind of nice. That'd be nice to see. Watch this coaster. All that. So very cool. So if we step outside the park, we've got a little duck pond here. Love the black swan. Nice little detail. Lots of little cars and trucks and everything. Just give it some life on the outside. I did, by the way, close the park at the beginning and remove all the peeps, and then reopened it and tried to get a number of them in just to give it some life, but not full on. I was definitely having some frame rate issues there. Love these campers on here. Got towing the boat. Campground stuff, some parking. Here's a house here with a hot tub on the outside. I wonder if they bought that at the fair. And playground type rides. Parking lot on this side. Full of couple little buildings here. This road's closed off for the fair because of the parking, I'm sure. And got a couple other parking areas here. Half diagonal type parking spaces and all that. Got a 7-Eleven, and if we spin around to the back, we can see the side. See all the different bits and pieces. Fun. Little details there. This is Don's Drive-In, I think. I was curious on this one. Yeah, Don's Drive-In. This is, I guess, just a one-off little place right next to the fairgrounds. Kind of neat to see. Housing area here with some duplex houses. Probably hate the fair coming because it's going to be a lot of traffic and everything. And this brings us back to our burger place right there. Old State Fair sign. Got the bus as well. Some buildings here on this side is the Starbucks, and these are real, by the way. The Starbucks is actually next to the fair site. The Don's Drive-In is next to the fair site, so lots of good little details there. Of the posters on the side. I think if we spin around, got a couple of the posters here. There's the Cream Queens from Head to Head team logo as well. So lots of fun little details on that whole. But I think that is a good tour of the park. There's a lot to see in this one, and like I said, I really am a big fan of fair parks in general. I'd love to see a similar quality take on a European fair, just because they are so different from the U.S. fairs, and I always kind of like going into the details of that and kind of where the fair originated from and all of that. There's a lot of just kind of interesting history there when it comes to real life stuff. So if you want to talk about that kind of stuff, feel free to join our Discord. There's a link below in the description. And we have that kind of conversation and all sorts of other stuff there, so it's a fun time if you want to come hang out. If you are a fan of these kind of reviews, then feel free to subscribe to the channel so you get the notifications for the rest of them. There are more reviews coming. I've got quite a lot of parks to come. If you want to see this one in the game, download it in the link in the description below. You will need Open RCT2 to view this one, so I'll provide a link for that as well. And if you have any suggestions for ones that you want to see coming up, then feel free to leave those in the comments. Otherwise, I've got a whole list of ones coming up, as well as more scenario videos and other stuff. So until next time, thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye now.